What's up, baby?
Turkey killing mofos. Hey, you a professional now.
You got her? Heck yeah, man. That's awesome, dude. Hell yeah.
Storytelling in regards to hunting and fishing has gone back hundreds of thousands of years.
Yeah.
Literally on the rock walls of our nation.
Push it.
Yes, sir.
What you doing, Brandon?
Go. By the way, your nipples are already wet.
I just shot probably one of the most epic scenes, probably ever. These two monster bugs got after it, and it was so cool.
That's about like what you want it to look like. Cover it.
Oh, he's so handsome.
That's a big deer, Megs.
He's big. He's a big boy. That's talking whitetail.
That's what I'm talking about, baby.
Holy crap.
Look at those hooves.
Everybody wants to be a turkey hunter until it's time to do turkey hunters.
What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Tejas Hunt Club Podcast. I'm your host, Brandon McDowell, also joined by
Meagan McDowell.
And happy 4th of July, everybody. We're actually recording this podcast this morning on the 4th of July, and we'll get it out this afternoon. So we hope you are having a great time celebrating America. It's pouring down rain here right now. We got some flooding going on here in Texas. Yeah. So it's not the best time in all spots of Texas right now, but I hope for the people that are out having a good time, grilling hot dogs, burgers, spending time with family, popping fireworks. Make sure you have all your fingers on July 5th, but have a great time. We wanted to get this podcast out, just another short one. We're actually going to be talking about the Texas Wildlife Association Convention that we're going to be attending next week in San Antonio, Texas. We're going to be doing some social media content takeovers for TWA, so we wanted to get this out. If you're in the area, if you're not in the area, and you don't have anything to do, you should definitely come check out the Texas Wildlife Association Convention. I wanted to do a little deep dive on their history. I've heard it from other people that we spoke to before, but wanted to do a little research myself, and then obviously pass on that information to you.
Yeah. We've been involved with TWA for 5 years now?
Yep.
Almost 6.
Something like that.
With the Mentor to Hunt, Adult Learn to Hunt program. But they have many, many programs. A lot of it has to do with land stewardship, conservation, advocating for our rights as landowners. You guys know, or maybe you don't, that 94% or more of land here in Texas is privately owned. So this organization does a lot to bring that community together, both from the landowner side, also into people who have never hunted before. So there's a full range of how they reach out to the community, really.
So the founding of the Texas Wildlife Association was back in 1985, which for some of us seemed a lot closer than it is when you actually start doing the math.
Yeah, because the 80s were only 20 years ago, right?
yeah, exactly. By a group of passionate landowners and sportsmen who recognized like a serious gap. There's a lot of organizations for public land, but not so much for private land ownership, and they wanted to make sure that their voice was heard in matters that dealt with wildlife, conservation, the usage of natural resources in Texas, and then also just passing along information to those state agencies that needed it. I mean, as we all know, the government operates how the government operates, and sometimes they don't have all the best information. So this was a way for landowners to have a seat at the table and to be able to kind of manage some of the things that were happening, and not just relying on people that may not live in the same area making decisions on things. The goal from what I read was just to empower Texas landowners to take the lead in preserving the land and wildlife, and kind of not waiting for the government to come tell you, hey, this is what we need to do, especially if they didn't have the information to make those decisions. So today it is over 9,000 members strong statewide, including ranchers, hunters, educators, biologists, and land managers. Their continued focus on private land stewardship is no accident. After all, more than, like Megan said, 94% of Texas land is privately owned. And that, obviously, that reality makes landowners, the people that have the land in their control, big proponents in how it's used and how it's managed. So, like I said, having those people come to the table to be able to find out new information on how they should be taking care of their properties, how they should be managing the wildlife, and then providing that information back is a big part of Texas Wildlife Association. It's really grown into a kind of a full spectrum conservation organization. In the early 2000s, it launched education-based initiatives for the youth and for adults to expand the understanding and practice of land stewardship. Because as a lot of you know, the more people that, go and live off in the cities, they're removed from wildlife, they're removed from ranching, they're removed from how they actually get their food and their resources. So being able to educate them in some aspect is very, very valuable in keeping that knowledge going, even for people that, obviously it doesn't touch besides when they buy stuff every day. So along with that, a lot of partners that the Texas Wildlife Association has partnered with from Texas Parks and Wildlife, Texas A&M AgriLife, and the USDA NRCS to kind of take, obviously, that science, policy, and landowner experience and kind of merge them together to get the best results that we can get. They've also led into a lot of legislative advocacy for the state of Texas and being able to stand up for private landowners when some people have other opinions of how things should be done. A lot of the programs that TWA is involved with and have founded have grown exponentially, you would say, from the start, and then also provided a lot of information to people. So one of the programs, Lands Learning Across New Dimensions in Science, focuses on bringing conservation science directly into classrooms. So this gives lessons for grades 1 through 12 on topics like native species, land management, and ecology. So that introduces these students in those grades before they get to high school, and you can take FFA and all that kind of stuff. But it kind of introduces them to what land management is. Like you see sometimes when they have the field days where they have the trailers and stuff like that, where they come and bring everything. Or maybe you've been to Texas Trophy Hunter Show or something like that, and they have those trailers as well to educate students. But it also provides this information to teachers in a curriculum that they can teach in their classrooms. So that's pretty cool. Over 100,000 students have participated since the inception. So a lot of lives, a lot of kids have been, impacted by this program, just from maybe wanting to become a wildlife biologist or just letting you know what kind of species that are here in Texas for them to see.
And kids are naturally curious, so a lot of that information just being available to them, or just they absorb it like crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that's the perfect time to start introducing them to stuff like this. I mean, for me, it was some of these same programs or National Geographic or something like that. I mean, if you don't teach kids about stewardship and it's our responsibility to take care of the land and manage it, it's not really a thought in their mind. It's kind of just like, hey, nature does what nature does. Well, in some aspects it does, but for the most part, we are on the landscape, so we do affect what happens on it. So we have to be mindful of those things. Stewarding Texas documentary series, which is a multimedia series showcasing landowners using conservation practices. Now, I know that there's a lot of ways that people have managed land over the years, but we also have to take into account for new technology, new ways of doing things, new information. So this program is a way to give landowners that new information so they then can apply it to their management practices. So the Conservation Legacy, which is the umbrella for all of TWA's education programs, Includes wildlife by design, classroom visits, discovery trunks and virtual resources, bilingual content and education support across Texas. So this program serves over 450,000 students annually and facilitates 1,000 plus classroom visits and workshops every year. So this kind of goes hand in hand with that LANS program, being able to get information and hands-on training in the students' classrooms has been a big part of what TWA likes to do in the programs that they facilitate. So with that also is the youth hunting program.
Yeah, because we both have our Hunt Masters certifications for the youth hunting program.
Yes.
Pretty cool. We spent I guess it was a full 8-hour day.
More than that, because we drove from
that's
here.
Right. Well, for us, it was more than 8-hour day.
From here to Nacogdoches, and back in the same day.
So Brandon and I both, I have not had the opportunity quite yet, but you've been able to go on a youth hunting program hunt.
Yep.
In addition to the adult learn to hunt program, which has been really cool. But this is another program that they co-manage with TWD, Texas Parks and Wildlife Department. It offers the mentored hunts to the youth, as the name suggests, and their parents are also invited to these private landowner locations where they go on a hunt and they learn everything when it comes to from the beginning all the way through harvesting and preparing your meat for meals. It teaches safe, ethical hunting program. My gosh, I can't talk today either. The biggest goal is to teach safe and ethical hunting practices to the youth. I bet you they started seeing the wildlife by design, conservation education in school.
Yep.
And now they're able to kind of graduate per se into the hunting program and get out there in the field. That's been in place actually since 96. So that's one of the older programs. They've had over 30,000 participants since the inception of the program. So that's been a huge impact on our youth. And I'm really looking forward to hopefully one day getting the opportunity to go on one of those youth hunts since we do have our Hunt Master certifications.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of fun, especially when they actually get an animal and you see that for the first time. I mean, it's always been fun for us to help and guide other people hunting. Adults, it's cool, but just being able to help kids, because I mean, they're always willing to ask more questions than adults. Because they're a little bit more open. So you get to kind of really go into what you know and teach them, I mean, simple things. Like one of the coolest experiences that we had was when we were on that hunt. When I was on that hunt last year, we were hunting white-tailed deer, but we had a fox come in to the blind, and just being able to see the kids that I was with, that I was guiding. They had never seen a fox before. I'm sure they've seen white-tailed deer before. They gone down the road and stuff, but a fox are a little bit more elusive animal. So we got to sit and watch this fox. I mean, he didn't know we were there. He was just kind of running around, eating corn, doing different things, and it was there for about 10 minutes. So they really had a really cool experience being able to see that kind of stuff. And then, I mean, it gets them excited, which then in turn gets you excited, because you know that that's a memory that they're going to carry on for a pretty long time. And even for me too, like getting to see a fox that close, because I mean, we were in a bow blind, so 20 yards at most to the feeder, and he was running around there the whole time. So it was pretty cool. And of course, the last arm or leg body part of TWA is the advocacy piece that they facilitate. The state capitol, anytime any kind of legislation comes up that has to do with private landowner rights, water rights, wildlife, conservation funding, anything like that, they're at the forefront of standing up for any of the organizations within Texas and the private landowners here as well. So TWA does a lot. They have a lot of different programs that they facilitate, and it's definitely an organization that we stand behind, and we think other people should too. Get involved. It's a great place. If you see things, that you want to quote unquote fix or have a hand in, making better, TWA is a great organization for you to join and to get involved and be able to help out with those things. I mean, it's something that we're planning on doing. Part of the reason why we're doing this podcast and we're going to the convention is because we know that there's a generation before us that is kind of leaving out of some of these leadership positions and stuff in these organizations. And if we don't have people in our age group and younger that step into these positions, they're not going to be there. We're not going to have people standing up for our rights as landowners, our rights as, hunters and fishermen in the state of Texas, and just, in general, if people just want to be out in the outdoors and stand up for that kind of stuff. So, like I said, definitely check out TWA and get involved. One of the biggest things that we got involved with, and probably the catalyst to this whole thing, was the Adult Learn to Hunt program. For us, it was being able to help other people go hunting, and then also to have some opportunities to go hunting ourselves. Right. By no means are we the Jim Shockeys of the world. But no. We've chased some animals around, and we do have some knowledge, and we like to pass that on to other people. And the only other way you gain any more knowledge is spending time in the woods chasing animals. So anytime that opportunity arises, we're definitely going to take it. But with this program, it's as we know, hunting is deeply embedded in Texas culture. But for adults, as we said, that the youth program started back in 96, but 1996. Make sure I say that, because, some people get all weird about it. But for adults, it's a little bit harder. Not that many people want to let adults go hunting for,
especially not a new adult.
Or a new adult, exactly. New to it. With that doesn't have any experience. It's kind of
just
leery.
Not as cute when I ask. Can't bat their eyes at someone the way a kid can.
Yeah, exactly. So with this program, it was really cool when we heard about it, because we knew a lot of people that probably were kids and got to go hunting, but maybe got out of it for reasons of going to school, college, family. I mean, a myriad of things, but a way for them to get back into it, and also for those new hunters that saw some of the stuff that went down during COVID, and said they wanted to kind of take matters into their own hands as far as like procuring meat and food for themselves, and then also kind of just reconnecting with nature. I think a lot of people that were in inner cities, and when all that stuff was going down, they just wanted to kind of escape and breathe fresh air and see trees.
I think it was kind of a check, like a moment of realization that whenever the grocery store shelves are empty, right? It's like, what would you do?
Yeah. Exactly.
So a lot of people had that mindset.
But this program really dives into the instruction in laws, ethics, firearm safety, wildlife biology. I mean, there's
tracking.
It's a whole bunch of, it's a full course on hunting that you kind of try to cram in 3 days, but we tried to hit the most important things, obviously. And then part of the mentor's job is to kind of push those things along and be a helping hand when they do have something arise that, they may not have witnessed before or anything like that. So being able to judge animals, being able to decide what animals all different aspects of hunting.
We practice the marksmanship in the very beginning. Yeah. Each Friday that we get there, that's the first thing we do. Yep.
Because we want to make sure people are comfortable. And I will say that is one of the things that is really big in this program, is to make sure that everyone that is involved is comfortable. I mean, nobody's out there. Yeah. Nobody's out there, trying to make you feel bad if you miss a target or anything like that. It's more about building community and building that confidence in the mentees that are there, that they can do this on their own one day, or keep coming back to the mentored hunts. And
it's about the empowerment. Yeah. So it's empowering from the marksmanship, like I said, all the way through the cooking of the meals too. I mean, and the butchering. I can't forget that part. We've got people that have been out there. Abigail, she's amazing. Chris Abigail. That's the wild game processing side of things that most people don't even talk about. They just drop off their animals. Nobody really talks about doing it. Like, we tried doing it at home one time. If you're a listener for a while, you've heard that story. But I mean, it's the whole gamut. Like Brandon said, it's a course, for lack of a better term, from beginning to end, all the way through the process. And then you get to have some friendships built in between, which is really nice.
Yeah, we've met a lot of great people on these trips. We talk to them on Instagram and all that kind of stuff. And we're already planning on, the Adult Learn to Hunt applications are open.
Oh, that's right.
Right now.
Yep.
So if you're listening to the podcast, it sounds like something that either you want to donate your time to as a mentor, or you want to come on as a mentee. The applications are open right now. We'll drop the link in the show notes to the podcast. but you can check them out on Instagram at TWA_ALTHP, Adult Learn to Hunt Program. Yeah, TWA_ALTHP.
I don't think so. There's no T.
Adult Learn to Hunt Program.
It's 4 letters.
ALHP?
Yeah.
TWA_ALHP. I don't know.
Tell these people wrong. Look in the show notes. We'll put the link.
I'm going to look right now.
I always get it wrong too, but it's Adult Learn No T Hunt Program. Adult ADHP. That guy wants to bet on it.
Yes, Megan was right. TWA_ALHP.
Is their Instagram handle?
Is their Instagram handle. So check out their page. They have all the information there. If you can't find it, choose to DM either Tejas page or our personals, and we'll definitely point you in the right direction to get involved as a mentor or as a mentee.
There's my cue.
Haston said, not a full podcast today. So Haston's going to come finish out the podcast with us. Yeah. So one of the last things we want to talk about for TWA is obviously some of their events, which is another big proponent of their organization. Another way to get out and meet fellow members of TWA, make new friends, all that kind of good stuff. But the annual convention in San Antonio, it draws over 1,500 attendees, including landowners, outfitters, educators, and wildlife professionals. Features, we have a whole bunch of education seminars, there's rewards banquets, youth programming, auctions, all kinds of cool stuff that you have it. And
super family
events.
Friendly.
Yes, definitely. You can bring the whole family, hang out, have dinners.
There's activities during the activity, like there's kids activities on the same floor as all the other activities. So it's like it's truly family friendly.
Cool. Yeah. So if you're sitting in on one of the seminars, your kids can go over to one of the programs that they have for them and make it a whole family affair. Like I said, there's auctions, there are dinners, awards programs. The Texas Big Game Awards is all going to be going on during this convention, and it's going to be next weekend.
Thursday through Sunday.
Yes, July 10th through the 13th. Yes. So if you're in the area, if you're not in the area, get in the area. Come check out TWA Convention. It's going to be at the JW Marriott Resort, one of the coolest resorts in San Antonio. Yeah. So I'm probably not any rooms left at that facility, but there will be some in the surrounding area. But you can definitely come check that out next weekend. It's summertime. Get your kids out. Teach them something about wildlife and fisheries and all that good stuff. Maybe you can learn something yourself. Take back home to your lease or farm or ranch. They also have the Private Land Summit. It's more policy-driven gathering focused on landowner rights, conservation solutions, and legal resources. They have panels with attorneys, lawmakers, and scientists tackling those issues landowners face.
That's on Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah,
so
Thursday
I imagine one of the hot topics that's going to be talked about is the New World screwworm.
And it's on there.
Because that's been a big thing that a lot of landowners, livestock producers, everyone, even down to the little old lady with the little yip yap dog.
Yip-yap dog.
It's gonna be a big problem if we don't put into place some things to combat it. But luckily, I know I've been paying attention to the state of Texas. Texas Department of Agriculture, the USDA itself, the NRCS, a lot of people are putting forth a lot of resources to help combat this and not have it repeat what it's done in the past. But there's also youth and family field days. So these are interactive outdoor events that are regional. So depending on what part of Texas you live in or is when these events are going to be scheduled, you can check it out on TWA's website. They have a full calendar of everything of when it's going to be going on. So these are interactive outdoor events to bring families in the conservation fold. wildlife tracking, archery, outdoor cooking, and a whole lot more. So, like I said, it just kind of depends on your region and where you at and what's going to be offered. So whether you're a landowner, a teacher, a new hunter, or simply someone who cares about Texas wildlife, which anybody that lives in Texas should care about Texas wildlife, the land, the water, the resources, everything else, think about joining Texas Wildlife Association. And if you're thinking about joining, this is a great time to attend the convention so you can see what the organization is all about and make sure it's a good fit for you. You can meet some cool people. You can meet us because we'll be there. So if you're, like I said, if you don't have anything to do, you should definitely check out the convention next weekend. Check out TWA on their texaswildlife.org, which is the TWA website. And if you have any questions about the organization, feel free to send us a message, message them. We'll be glad to get you some of the answers that you may be needing to get you involved in TWA and any other organization that we're involved with also. So like SEI, Houston Safari Club, Dallas Safari Club, any of them. If you have any inkling, any itch to scratch to join and get involved, we'd be glad to point you in the right direction. So thanks for listening to this episode of the podcast. Hope Haston didn't scare you off. But hopefully we'll see you at TWA Convention next week, and we look forward to more episodes. We'll catch y'all at TWA or on the next podcast.
Bye.
Peace.